Okay, I figured I'd carry on a little bit more from the last one because I feel like I'm gonna leave a lot of people confused because that was really chaotic, okay? I had no plan of what I was gonna say in that video. I literally just hit the record button and started going. So thank you for letting me trauma dump on you in the last video. Let me elaborate a little bit more. So the morning that grandma ended up going and having complications with her cancer treatment, she was not feeling well that morning. And my mom and uncle had told the doctors that, and they still proceeded with her cancer treatment and proceeded to take too much fluid. I think normally she got out 2 liters of fluid per week if it was a good week. Some weeks they'd send her home and be like, we can't get any fluid out. It would be a quick appointment. Like they'd just do her vitals and then they'd send her on her way because they couldn't perform the treatment. But this day they just said fuck it and decided to do the treatment anyway, even though her vitals were not what they should have been. So all in the meantime of all of this, my sister moved up her wedding. It was supposed to be September of 2025. She moved her wedding up to the literal only day that she could find, which was in November, which is coming up, all in hopes that grandma would make it because she was really, really, really excited about this wedding. Like the wedding was literally what she would tell her cancer doctors about every single week at treatment. She would be talking about how she could not wait to get to her granddaughter's wedding. Her first granddaughter getting married also, mind you. So it was a big moment for my grandma. So anyway, we're all in this storage unit, right? And so much is going on and we're like, fuck it. Like we're finishing up, we're done for the day. We put everything in the storage unit that needed to be in there. We left, we went to the hospital. We ended up spending every single night in the hospital for 5 nights. Like all of us showed up, my cousin, me, my sister, my uncle, like everybody in my family was coming and going to this hospital. Like we had a party in the waiting room. We were pretty much just like there every night because we did not want grandma to be alone. She was in the hospital for 5 days. We got her put on hospice at home so she was able to be in our home, cared for around the clock with nurses and stuff like that. And obviously like we were taking care of her. I learned so much from the hospice nurses on how to do all the things with grandma. That was very beneficial for me. Like now I know how to care for people when they need it, which that's like the only good thing out of this. We had a Christmas in July celebration for her because as you guys know, I love Christmas. And back in 2020, we did a Christmas in July party at her house because we were all like sad during the middle of the pandemic and we all couldn't really see each other as much. So we had a big pool party in her backyard. So naturally, my grandma, of course, before she passed, had made a comment about like, I want to have a big Christmas this year. Like I want to go so big for Christmas. She's who I get my love for Christmas from. She had said, I want to have a big Christmas this year. And once things started hitting the fan, I was like, fuck it. We're making Christmas happen right the fuck now. On the 24th, grandma was already home at this point on hospice. We made Christmas Eve happen. I made Christmas cookies. We played Christmas movies 24/7 so that she could hear them. We just brought the spirit, okay? And then on the 25th, we had all of our family members kind of coming and going throughout the house, sitting by grandma, talking to her, kind of saying their goodbyes because we just kind of knew that it was going to happen at any day. So that was really difficult. But then she passed on the 26th, which was the day after Christmas in July. And of course, on this same day that grandma passed, it was my first day back to work. Like I had taken 2 weeks off of work at this point. I had drained through my personal savings account. I needed to go back to work. There was no choice. I end up going to work and I'm at work for not even 30 minutes before I get a phone call that grandma had passed. Now, every time I went to work after that moment, I felt like I was going to get a phone call that someone was going to die. Like I was just so triggered anytime I left my house and especially anytime I went to work. There's anxiety that follows me everywhere now since this happened and I'm kind of in the stages of figuring out how to live with that. Let me talk about now post grandma dying. So it's been a few months since she passed. After she passed, I started getting all of these amazing opportunities for my social medias, which was really nice because it was something that kept me distracted and kept me happy and kept me busy. So it's been really good on that end of things, but it's also been extremely hard because we still have my grandfather. To give you backstory on that, my grandfather was with my grandmother forever. They were high school sweethearts, had kids as soon as they got married. My grandfather went into the Air Force as soon as they got married, like pretty much as soon as he was 18. I think he just went into the Air Force. He got deployed. He was away from my grandmother for a couple of years when they had their first child. My grandmother was literally my grandfather's rock. She was his brain, okay? He is a 100% disabled vet. He has PTSD really bad, and she was like the only thing. She was his rock. Like she was the only one that could get through to him, the only one that was there for him through all of his battles with PTSD. And also, like I said, he's 100% disabled. Like the man is handicapped. He just cannot be on his own. It's been a few months now, and we went from him living here, which was hard for everybody because we don't have handicap accessible things in our house. We have stairs that go up to the bathroom with showers. Like there was a lot of obstacles in the way with him living here. Not to mention, this is where my grandmother passed, and he was staying in the literal room where she passed. That was so hard for him. Also, my mom needed to differentiate. Like, she was in the house where her mom passed, now taking care of her dad, who is not in good health. And all of the doctors that were coming and going, all the social workers, everything, were like, girl, you need your home to be your home. So we ended up having to find a living situation for my papa, and he has bounced from a few different ones because let me not even get into our healthcare system in this country. That's a whole other topic for a whole other day. We have had to make do. Very recently now, my grandfather, his health is declining rapidly. It's not good. And it's given us all PTSD because this is exactly what happened with grandma. Like, her health just started spiraling out of control. And also, the man lost his whole world. Like, he doesn't have a home that's his anymore. He doesn't have his wife. How do you tell them that it's okay and it's going to get better? Like, how do you actually tell somebody that? So that's where we're at now. We are just trying our very best to keep Papa in good spirits. And he keeps talking about the wedding as well. So he really, really wants to make it to see my sister's wedding. So we're just praying at this point. But I feel like every day I just keep getting bad news after bad news. And again, this is just like what's on my plate. I know that there are huge issues in the world, which adds to my anxiety, quite frankly. It is what it is. That is just my story. That is what I'm going through. That is my year so far. And again, I just kind of needed like a quick little vent sesh, like we're on FaceTime with my besties. Feel free to comment down below and trauma dump with what is going on in your life. Like I said in the first part, misery loves company. I just wanted to come on here and honestly just vent. Love you guys, and one day at a time, okay? This is my grandma's hat that I keep at my vanity. She loved it. It says, one day at a time. That's sincerely what I have been living by. You got this.